Right on the set.
This is on. And where's the mic line? Is that?
Right, tight, you're out there.
That's a good there? Okay. Don't forget your keys, if I don't know if they're in a shop on the table.
Out of shot.
Okay.
Make us proud. Make us proud.
Fucking crazy, right?
It's insane.
What the hell, dude? It's happening too much, too often. It seems to be getting around and becoming a very big problem. We have to come together and counter this bullshit.
I landed in Washington on Saturday evening, 8:30. Went from the airport to my hotel, and I got a call at about 5 from our colleague, who's the sort of bureau chief, saying what had happened. And at that stage, it was sort of not nearly on the scale.
Right,
It was just sort of, and it was at that stage, it was another horrible, tragic thing, but just some crazy lunatic,
another crazy
exactly,
person with a gun, and then it gets deeper.
But it was,
I saw that first interview of that reporter that no one knew. It was almost like he got on scene and just did it for fun. Oh, and all these times, all these people are hurt, and we don't know if it's Islamic radicalization.
Was saying,
but even people inside, now it comes out that people inside were very close, and they saw him chanting and stop and laughing and then hailing to Islam what, and it's, how did that take so long? No, because we had to highlight the gun first. That's what it was.
Okay,
that was really nice.
Switch modes. I was about to film in UK.
They didn't record that. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, we're not
recording.
recording.
I was gonna say, that was good. Warm up.
I know this game.
We're not recording.
No,
No, we're very transparent. So you'll see there'll be a little red light will pop on. So you know we're English because I said a light will pop on. Okay.
This is crazy, man.
Okay, recording.
Okay, so just before we start, Christian, just tell me your full name
Christian Cave.
and how do you spell?
CHRISTIAN CAVE.
Okay, Christian, you knew Omar Mateen at school. Just tell me your recollections of him, how long you knew him, and where you knew, what school this was.
Well, this was 16 years ago in Martin County High School. Very popular kid, like not extremely popular, but he would get around. This kid would go around, very social, different social groups. He would contact everyone he knew. It's like during lunch, he would walk around from every social group in the entire lunch area, and he would sit down and eventually talk to someone. He knew someone in every single group. He was a bubbly kid, full of life. He was happy. I'm so surprised that anything like this could have come out of it.
And, born and bred in this country and completely at ease with life in America.
It seemed like he was happy, from what you kind of see him from a distance. There's no one with family problems. If you've seen that picture, I'm telling you, the one that's going all over the news about him in 9th grade, middle school, that picture says it all. He's so full of life. That's a good kid. Wow.
And did you continue to hear about him a bit even after you left school? Did you know other people who knew him, as he and you got older?
Yeah, well, when you're in Martin County, you're in Martin County. Everyone knows everyone in Martin County. People just don't leave here. So he bounced around a lot still. He'd hang out at house parties, high school.
Did all the usual things you did at that kind of age?
Absolutely. It's crazy.
And did he ever show any sign of growing up, as a teenager, of being religious at all?
Not in this sense, no. Not when I knew him. Never had any problems with religion. You knew he'd go home to a happy home at the end of the day.
And when you heard the terrible news on the early hours of the weekend and heard his name?
Yeah, I saw when they put that picture on the screen and they said Omar, I look up and oh my God, I know this kid, went to school with this kid, I've interacted with this kid many times. What is going on?
How did you feel? I mean, especially given the horrific scale.
It touched me in my heart. I mean, a lot of stuff's going on in the world right now that everyone seems to be not trying to understand. And when you throw it in your face like this, hopefully everyone's starting to start coming together and start realizing there's a problem. Maybe we need to come together and be.
As you say, I mean, Marion County is a small, close-knit place. Have things changed forever now because of this, do you think?
No, I think things are gonna grow from this event. We're gonna come together. We're gonna be social. We're gonna be social symmetry.
Great, thank you very much indeed. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay.
When was the last time?
Yeah, when was the last time you sort of ran across it? Let me ask you that properly.
Ran across
him?
him?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh man, ninth grade.
Okay,
ninth grade in the
okay.
schoolyard.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing much more than that.
But that was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Terrific. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Good job.
Well, no, we're not going to do it in the same place. We're going to turn it around this way.
Yeah, but you're still on the same side.
Yeah.
But the shot's going to just be
Slightly different.
So do you mind just come
That
have a
was good.
seat? Have a
Very
seat. I just have to reset the lights slightly.
Be definitely
Slurred a few times, it's cool.
Not yet. I think they're gonna do a separate thing.
We're going to do a
for-
separate thing in there. Just
I'll down the
change
street.
Do you want to come this side and then I go there? Is that the plan?
It still needs to be the same way.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay.
But it just took me a minute just to really
Alright,
like set a
okay.
different shot so it looks different.
Yeah. Again, we'll keep it very conversational, like we did with Christian.
So we're not going to be recording for a couple of minutes.
Oh, cool. Right. I mean, the other question I was going to ask, sorry, it does feel like an interrogation. One of those sort of
Yeah, it does. Oh my God, it
films.
does.
It's sort of,
Yeah, right.
what is your name?
It's hard to see your face too, so you have that. The silhouette, it's just a black silhouette talking to you.
Yeah. What is
What I was
this, a
going to
movie?
say is, what I'm going to ask is, it's really
Yeah.
set up to talk about what you're sort of saying, just the extraordinary number of, different plots and whatever. I was going to ask this, I can't even read my writing. Why you, maybe something like, why have you decided to, through social symmetry, focus on this sort of issue about sort of, being about awareness and so forth? Maybe that's the place where you sort of say, well, you've got to understand in this small sort of area, we've had the plotters of 9/11.
These things.
Yeah.
It's just what gives the light the shape.
Because, people will ask,
okay.
Shining the light through
why all this
Yeah.
focus
It just puts some
on
texture in the background,
sensitization
whereas it's like a
about the
flat wall.
dangers of radicalization. I think that it will really hit home if you say,
Yeah.
look,
That's
people
cool.
in the UK need to understand, there's a tiny little corner of sort of America, and yet, and that's why. Then it'll give it even more sort of credence, if you see what I mean.
Well, too, and it's I think too what causes radicalization, and the State Department said it best. There's 3 criteria. One is poverty, right? 2 is issues surrounding either the Israeli or Palestinian conflict. 3 is climate change. Right? Those are their 3 categories of mix.
Precursors.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think with a lot of young people that are caught in the mix of any of those,
Yeah.
they have a lot of existential frustration.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's often hard to voice their existential frustration because of either large governmental agencies or Fortune 500 corporations, multinational corporate conglomerates. They feel like they don't have a voice, so they get
Okay.
frustrated.
It's very good. I'm also
Yeah,
going
we're all-
and I'll ask it in a sort of
at the end with everybody
almost
in
like
I think you guys call it B-roll.
like I'm sort of
Right.
goading you, I mean, just sort of say, well, do you think that, as big a tragedy as this is, that people of your generation, millennials, will just get on with their lives once the memory of this sort of fades? And I think that'll be a good thing for you to say, well, that's what we're trying to do. Do you see what I mean? Do millennials really care? Isn't this sort of radical? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just bring it a little bit this way. And you good? Okay, ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm recording.
Okay, so first of all, Jerome, just tell me your full name and the name of your organisation.
Okay, my name is Jerome Kalanick. The name of our organization is Social Symmetry Incorporated.
And can you spell your surname, just for the record, so we have it on tape?
No, it's Kalanick. ENUIK.
Okay. Can I first of all start by asking you, Jerome, before we get onto your work with social symmetry, tell me about your personal, how you knew Omar.
I knew Omar in several capacities. One of which he was operating as a security official with at PGA Village. My wife would have frequent interactions with him where he would become borderline sexually aggressive. Where she would come home to me and she would tell me these things, and she was very disconcerted with his behavior. So I would go there and go seek him out and find out what the fuss was. And after I would go with my chest puffed out, so to speak, he would just look at me.
How did you find him in those interactions?
He would just give me a blank stare, and he would show no emotion whatsoever, and he would his eyes would just pierce right through me. As I haven't seen too many eyes like that, and the ones I have seen eyes like that on weren't really good people.
One picture to sort of emerge, especially with his former wife speaking today, is that he did have, later on in life, quite aggressive, violent sort of tendencies. She spoke today about being physically abused by him. Did that come across, that he had this propensity for violence when you were sort of confronting him because of your wife?
Absolutely. I think, for example, what my wife said was she would go hand him her ID, and he would hand it back, but he wouldn't let it go. He would hold on to it, and he would start breathing heavy. And she described foam coming out of her mouth, and he would hold on to her ID for about 30 seconds or 45 seconds, and this is 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's just her and our 19-month-old. And when I would come around, he was different. He wouldn't get aggressive. He would just show no emotion. So I saw a propensity for violence towards adversaries that he feels that he could best.
And is there any other sort of capacity that you knew him in?
We worked with a nightclub. It was called La Zen, and my wife and I, we ran the VIP lounge. It's bottle service. It's a nice place for young people to go and have a good time. And I believe there was a moment of he was employed there. It's vaguely remember, but he has a face that I can never forget. And he was always very awkward in a club setting, whereas he was a bouncer. If he would come upstairs, if everything's okay, he would go to my wife, but he would always put his head down. He would never look her in the eye. It was strange. It was just, it just stuck out like a sore thumb.
Tell me about your work with social symmetry. I know that one of the things that you try to do with your colleagues is to try and raise awareness, especially amongst young people, over a whole host of issues, one of which is local concerns about violent extremism and the threat of violent extremism. Is that a fair summary?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you focus on this issue? I mean, it is, before one can understand that now, especially of what's happened in the last 2-3 days. But why have you decided? Why is your work focused on why have you tried to focus on raising awareness about the threat of violent extremism for young people?
We feel that violent extremism has a bit of a lull in a sex appeal to a younger demographic, the millennial age demographic. A lot of millennials are deeply frustrated with the establishment. They have frustrations with large corporations and conglomerates, large governmental agencies. There isn't really any communication between the two. So when something like ISIS comes along, we feel that it becomes almost an escape for them. They fall for the propaganda, and they think that they could erect a new world. And so what we do is we work with young people, and we show them a different way. we show them a way, an alternative where you can work with large governmental agencies and large corporations, Fortune 500 corporations, and you can solve complex social issues by uniting all stakeholders. You know, that you have a voice, that you that are in fact powerful, and you mean something within your society. Our biggest problem and our biggest threat here is that every terrorist attack that has occurred, excluding the Boston bombings, the terrorists came out of the local area we operate within. The 9/11 hijackers, the young man 2 years ago that left Indian River State College and took a van in Syria and killed 20 people. And now you have Omar Mateen. You know, it's
out of this tiny little corner of America.
Sliver. You know, there's a precedent here. It's established here. You know, Port St. Lucie is a very new community with a very new culture. You know, very young culture. Most young people are caught on their cell phones and devices, and you know, the neighbors don't talk to each other, so nobody knows anybody. You know, and we're living in a global society now, so you're seeing a variety of different people. You know, which is that's our world, and you know, we get to know your neighbor and bring in all people together, and we raise awareness on these issues through that.
Have the tragic events in Orlando made you more optimistic or more pessimistic?
The events in Orlando were tragic. You know, the LGBT community is a part of our American culture and our society. They are American. An attack on them is an attack on everybody. I feel, and we as an organization feel, that the attacks, as horrible as they were, and our hearts and minds go with the victims of the families, was not in vain. That this is something that stirred a hornet's nest, if you would, right? And we, as Social Symmetry and our Symmetrical Peacekeepers Corps, here on the Treasure Coast, have doubled our efforts. You know, we are going out and we've just recruited 10 more peacekeepers right off the street as soon as that happened. And we're getting multiple calls every day to join.
Just briefly describe to me, I mean, in a way that someone listening in the UK could understand. Tell me about your peacekeepers. I mean, what do they do essentially? I mean, how do they function?
Okay, so the main premise is you have to be able to refine the self. Okay, the self it needs refinement. So you have college students that are going to school. The possibility exists that a gunman can come into school and shoot, as it always has occurred in our history. So we teach them hand-to-hand combat, how to disarm and take down an assailant in our firearm, how to take down multiple assailants, how to work as a team, how to work as a group, how to take leadership or charge over a situation if law enforcement hasn't arrived yet. And we do that with also community leaders and advocates outside of the college. Another part of our endeavor is, you know, working with and supplying information if needed or necessary to local law enforcement officials or greater, and basic profiling, learning deviant behavior, learning how to spot divergence, learning how to spot character that is not in alignment with our Western ways and values.
So to see the precursors towards radicalization and Islamic extremism.
Right. I mean, right now, let's face it, there's multiple things occurring globally. You know, we have climate change, and nobody at the local level knows what that is. You know, we have international trade agreements designed to optimize trade, travel, and transit, and nobody knows what those are. If they do, they're mistaken about them. You know, the young people aren't getting engaged because they don't have anything in front of them. So social symmetry comes in, and we get young people excited about international trade. We get young people excited about climate change. You know, we get young people excited and behind the key movements that need to be effectuated at the local level for it to occur. You know, if not, then this is simply going to be rhetoric, narrative, and talking, and nothing will ever get done. Radicalization is a component to these forces, obviously, and you know, so you tackle one, you tackle them all.
Very good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
really, really fantastic. There's just one answer. I'm just going to stop there just while we talk.
Sure.
Save space. You gave an answer where you said he'd been where he'd been working at the PGA.
The PG
PGA
PGA Village.
We know what that is because we've been in the area. The viewers at home won't know that. Could you tell us, because I think also when we saw you on the street earlier today, you said that he'd been working on the gate there as recently as last week.
Okay.
Could you just say, like,
So
working
what
on
I
the
say,
security
how
gate
did you?
of a
I'll
local
say, how
resort?
did you come across him? So why don't you just say he worked at the security gate of a local resort?
Okay.
Is that
Just-
alright?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
They people at home just
Because
won't
there
know
were-
what that is.
yeah.
That's what
Okay,
I
I
thought.
think
My
PGA
parents live in there, and they have
Okay.
enough time with
Okay.
the reporters
Okay.
calling,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's like,
Okay.
better not happen again.
So just tell me, how did you come across Omar Mateen?
I came across Omar Mateen as he was running security detail at a local resort in our area. He would run in their squad car, he would do patrols, he would run and he would man the gate. My wife has encountered him more than at least 10 or 20 times at that gate. I myself as well. The last time I saw him was less than a week ago. I got into somewhat of an argument with him. I found out that he basically borderline assaulted my wife at 1 o'clock in the morning with my 19-month-old daughter in the car. So I was very contrite. He responded with a poker face. Didn't show any emotion. He just gave me those deep, piercing eyes that just seemed to just go right through me. And I knew he wasn't a normal breed. He wasn't. There was something off with him.
And when he was a security guard, presumably he was armed.
He was armed. He was armed, and he was interacting, and he let others know how he felt about the residents that he was protecting there. And there were always comments coming from him. If there was somebody of Jewish origin, or if somebody that was of African American descent, or if somebody was LGBT, he was often seen as either making fun or slandering with impunity at any chance that he could.
Excellent. Very good. That's really good. Thank you very much indeed. John, that's
Do you want
great.
to do setups, or do you want to do more? These two guys.
No, these two guys are
fantastic.
very, very good. I'd like to get a quick clip from your wife though, to talk
We'll
about
do
just
that in
what
the next
she was
room.
do that in the next room.
Can we finish the filming in here?
Yeah.
Will your
I think
guys be offended if we don't? I just think you
No,
guys have been
I think you
so
guys are
eloquently
covered us over, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that alright?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we get the two of you then sat just on that side of the table? This is just a
Yeah.
picture, it's not for
No,
sound.
in terms of listening shots and cutaways, there's not.
Yeah, they will. I can do that.
Okay.
Yep, I can definitely do that.
Okay,
Great.
when you guys air this, will be
No, we'll give you.
We can send you a
send
link.
it as a sort of a you send it or a link or whatever.
Oh, cool. That'd be great. So we
don't
can
worry about
exchange
it.
emails.
You're on this side.
Yeah.
Okay, Reggie, let's get you there.
So what are we doing here?
This is just
a
a
picture
just
now.
a pictures, just the setups,
Okay.
And our slogan is actually mastering the human environment.
What's that?
Our slogan is mastering the
Yeah.
human
Okay.
environment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just take me a second again to the center here.
That's very interesting though. Yeah, sure. So you had more people sort of volunteering to enroll in this
Oh,
program.
yeah. The day of, we had 8 the day of, and then we've had 10 today. And
Can you just come this way down the table? Just a little bit.
if there's a way, we could even
It's not got wheels.
collaborate, and there's possibly a way that we could engage millennials in the UK.
Yeah.
To make a difference in their
Yeah.
communities.
Yeah.
Instead, if they had the opportunity to go one direction,
Yeah.
right now there's only one direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
That opportunity exists.
Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, hopefully it's seen.
Get this out of the way.
Because as I say, I mean,
Actually,
okay,
$2
there's
in
a
a
lot of
pot every
people
time I
who
catch
are-
a piece of my own
I don't know if
kit.
you saw the pictures from London, Glasgow, and all this sort of vigils everywhere. It's huge. So there's a lot of fertile ground for what you're saying and what you're organise it, the ethos behind the organisation.
And if you have need to see or show anybody of our training content, the best place that you could go is we have a YouTube channel.
Okay, so I saw that. It's on your website. You've got that link to it as well.
Right.
Embedded video.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you just go to the YouTube channel itself,
Yeah.
that's a complete archive
Yeah.
of our peacekeeper training regimen,
Okay.
where we do parkour, martial
Okay.
arts.
Actually, we might want to sort of download that and use it as part. We'd be able to do that, wouldn't we?
Right.
Just get it off the
Yeah,
YouTube.
just take the
Get it off
YouTube.
Yeah, get it off, okay.
The
Okay.
YouTube channel is simply social symmetry.
Actually, that'd be very good because I was just trying to think how would I explain,
Right.
you know, what the peacekeeper
What
thing
we're
is. Well,
doing,
actually,
right.
if I explain it over the video of it,
Right.
The
that'd
video
be,
would physically show you exactly
You know,
what we're
cut
doing.
scenes where we're training, we're doing martial arts, we're jumping over obstacles, we're
Okay.
climbing 30-foot
That's
ropes.
a very good. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I've got you very kindly wrote the email for me, but I'll just say.
It's in the toilet.
The selfie shot.
The throne.
The King's Chambers.
From YouTube. Okay. Yeah, no, it's sort of barely seems. There's a sort of air of unreality about it.
It's kind of eerie the fact it's happening more often.
Yeah,
It's,
Yeah.
It makes you kind of question even going to the supermarket.
I know.
But you shouldn't have to
But
question that.
I know. But the thing is, you know, in some ways, you know, we can never protect ourselves from, especially this kind of, you know, lone. I mean, there was one guy, I don't know whether he's from Germany
But
or
you
France, he was
can build-
radicalised within 4 days. I mean, one day he was, you know, smoking reefer and, you know, even the Paris attackers. I mean,
Right.
within two, the Belgian ones, because
Yeah.
I was in Molenbeek. You know, he was out getting stoned and drunk and whatever else, and suddenly he's sort of holier than thou and sort of, you know this kind of doing it all in the name of.
What makes you
jihad.
do that? So
I don't know. I think there's a
I
sense
don't
in
know
which
if it's
it's
fast
worth
as the word, but
There's a lot. I mean, not that anything excuses it. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but there is a sort of complete disconnect, especially in Europe.
It's a
Of those
synapse
who are
in
the
the
kids
mind.
of North Africa, or whatever. They've been there 2-3 generations, and yet you go to their neighbourhoods, and it is just, you know, completely. You know, it's a ghetto, of, you know, these North and right in the heart of Brussels. I mean, you can't. So, you know, when you're in that kind of environment,
Just need to
you
look this way for
can
this one.
fall prey, and you think there's no way out
Yeah.
for me. There's always, you know, I'm never going to get into the police force. But that's different here.
Yeah.
You can be from anywhere, and you can do whatever you want.
Do you mind just for these shots? I don't think it's
people
too much
hear
good. Can you just
something,
talk to
don't
Raggy?
believe
I
that
just,
too.
Oh yeah.
this will
Yeah,
help
Yeah,
us.
really
Yeah,
don't.
cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to him because I need the sort of eye line. And do you have to approach the sort of schools and colleges that you want to do the work? I mean, in terms of explaining what Peacekeepers are about, how do you approach that?
What we do is we have students that are already enrolled, and the students then are allowed to go to their campus coalition government and set up a club. So what they do is, for example, with IRSU, they set up Heal the World Club,
Mm-hmm.
and it was backed and funded and sponsored by Social
Okay,
Security.
that's great.
Mm.
Same guy over here, Raggy.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to Christian for a little minute, but I'll want to hear more actually afterwards.
Must have been a long day for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the heat more than anything that's
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, the humidity drains you here.
it's debilitating, especially when you're sort of doing live.
This guy's got to lug the
He's
lights
got to
and
look at
cameras
it.
around.
Thank you. Somebody's recognised
It's written
that.
into my contract I have to
Real
carry the
talent.
tripod.
Oh, you do? Thank God, right?
It's the first rule of news.
It's
that
about time.
If a correspondent doesn't carry the camera's tripod, they're off the Christmas card list.
Yeah, things start growing out of the head on lives and
They
stuff.
do all kinds of things to you. So
Frame things in a nasty
you've
way.
got to volunteer to carry the gear. So just remind me of the name of the school where you were with him.
Yeah, Martin County High School,
Right.
9th grade,
Okay.
2000.
Okay. So you would have been how old? 9 or something? No, 15. Yeah. Yeah.
Young 14,
Okay.
turning 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going, guys. Doing a good job.
And what are you going to be doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
We're
We're in the peacekeeping program tomorrow. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
Do
training.
you, and you
tomorrow.
you take part in that as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. I'm specifically being trained by the best right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And do you hold it in different places, or is it a set sort of place that you do?
We have a couple places, but right now we have one place that we go to. We like the place the best.
Okay.
So.
And what is it the training sort of involve at each sort of stage? I mean, what do you?
Well, it depends what sensei says.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just listen, Raggy.
Okay. But describe to me a bit more. I mean, what your decision to take part in this program? Why did you come to it?
Well, just look at the news every morning. Every single day you wake up, something strange is happening. It wasn't like this when I was younger. Didn't see it on the news nearly as often. I think people are starting to wake up.
Yeah. And it's that sense of wanting to be
that sense of being vulnerable and
Yeah.
knowing
Do you
that I
feel
could be prepared,
Yeah.
I would love to push that into other people, to
Right.
have courage to take action
Yeah.
when needed. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want everyone and anyone to jump on a gun,
Sure.
but there should be someone that has the balls to do it, and why not train for it?
Yeah.
Why not?
But
be
my lens is only
confident?
so wide. I'm trying
Or
to
at
get
least
you all
it's the
through
sort of
it.
sense if this
Yeah, that's it.
situation
Great.
were to unfold in a school, in a nightclub, or
Right.
whatever else, because I mean, one of the things I was struck by hearing the testimonies of those who sort of survived was that at first they had no idea what was happening, so they thought the gunfire was part of the track.
You know, exactly, because there's actually a selfie video of a girl taking it. You hear the gunshots in the background, and she's just kind of like,
Yeah.
it seems like the CD was skipping.
Yeah.
And then people were saying people were dropping at their left, dropping at their right, and they were like, I think they're dancing.
Yeah.
So it became,
When you're not prepared, I suppose that nothing can.
There's a lot of American rap music with a lot of
Of course
gunshots in
there
it.
is,
So.
No, but one interview with, in fact, our colleague did was with a guy, and he said he just presumed that because there was this, that was part of the, and he said there'd be rapid fire,
Right.
and there'd be a cessation to it, and then it would start again. But he just thought it was a part of the song.
Yeah.
It was extraordinary.
and there was a DJ there, so everyone's eyes was focused in one
On the DJ,
direction.
exactly, yeah.
Perfect opportunity, right?
Yeah.
That could be
With
part
a
of his
lot of
tactics,
music.
yeah.
No.
To use music.
No, but it's funny because I mean it's not a million miles away from the kind of training, and as a journalist you just do have safety obviously if you're covering a scene and there is a riot,
Yeah, I've
where
been
you
kidnapped.
position yourself.
You've been kidnapped?
You don't go into the middle of it, you get
No,
exactly.
no,
So
I didn't.
we're very aware of exit
no.
routes of
Yeah.
how you get into it, but then you
But
just
say you're cornered in a bathroom, right? There should be someone in there preparing for the
I'm
entry
not recording it.
instead of hiding in a corner.
Yeah.
So there, not necessarily it has to be, but there needs to be that courage.